Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session on building Azure agents using MCP with Azure AI Toolkit. I'm Nicholas Chang, and I'm doing it with my co-speaker, Bhuvi Vatsey. So, who am I first? I'm currently a platform engineer working for senior platform engineer working for Kainos, which is Microsoft partner. Would you like to introduce yourself, please, Bhuvi?
Sure. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Hi, everyone. I am Bhuvi Vatsey. I'm Senior Product Manager at Microsoft, and today I'm playing the role of a tinkerer.
Yeah, oh, so today's session is all about AI Toolkit, give an overview of AI Toolkit and how you can use it. So AI Toolkit is a platform that developer that allow you to bring all the moving parts together in how you create in AI. For example, the module catalog, be able to test the module, be able to run evaluations and comparing modules. So all those moving parts it's within extension called AI Toolkit in VS Code, so you wouldn't need to move away from your IDE editor. So we're gonna show demos, and Ruby's gonna talk about the demos that we're gonna show.
Sure. So we have three good demos lined up for you guys, and the demos include trying to show you how the experience in AI Toolkit is overall, how easily you can add models to the catalog, and how do you bring that experience into the agent builder. So the first demo that we have is going to talk about the general the model catalog as well as the experience that we have in the agent builder. And the other two demos are going to talk about how to use MCP servers in agent builder in AI Toolkit using both MCP servers that come right off the shelf in AI Toolkit and also creating a custom MCP server.
Yeah, so we're gonna show you the first demo. So the first demo we're gonna show is about the module catalog. So the module catalog is similar to AI Foundry. It's a collection of modules. So example 5.4, you can use connect to other modules from GitHub, DeepSeek as well. You can also use it also have GPT-5, one of the latest modules. For example, in order to add a module, you can just click add module and that will able to add your module for you in the AI Toolkit, and you can just try on using Playground to test it.
So as you can see, we already have the GPT-5 model added. It
Yeah,
was so easy to add it. And as Nicholas mentioned, we can quickly go and try that in the playground.
yeah. So we created some sample prompts just to test the module itself.
So giving a system prompt, trying to educate on what persona it is, what and about what context or topic is the agent or model supposed to respond to, and then adding a user prompt to get the response.
So the good thing about is the playground is that you can see the token usage, so how much token your modules taken to run. Uh, Sorry, it's gonna take a while to.
Yeah, I think the first one
Okay,
sometimes takes.
so yeah, so it's just the first prompt. Sometimes it takes a while to prompt. So at the end you see the token. So this is a simple prompt that you can use to test your module. See, it's quite a lot of token that's used, the character. But you can also use it to compare your module again. So you can compare like two modules together. Like you can compare like GPT-5 against DeepSeek, and you can see how fast the module is in terms of performance as well. So when we enter a prompt, you can see how fast both are is by comparing one and against another. So aside from
Going back to the agent builder experience, let's try to create two flavors of MCP servers. And also, in both the flavors, we want to see how the model responds to it. But then, before we even dive into the demo section, let's just talk a little bit about what's the purpose or what's the advantage of using MCP servers in agents. And then how is AI Toolkit, as Nicholas mentioned in the beginning, bringing it all together? So in terms of the MCP server, in very, very simple terms, MCP server is just a bundle of specialized and very scenario specific tools that you are getting. And these tools are making your agent even more efficient and scoped and giving you very specific as well as very intelligent responses. Also, it helps in orchestration because now your model, which is attached to your agent, is reasoning on top of the tools that it is presented to. And also, the model is making the decision on which particular tool to invoke in what scenario. So, it's kind of an accelerator for your agents, but at the same time, since the whole purpose of agent is to do specific tasks, adding the right set of MCP servers to your agents makes it more specialized. Keeping that in mind, as I mentioned in the beginning, how we also want to understand how the toolkit is the AI toolkit in Visual Code, bringing the experience all together. So let's start with the UI overview and see how quickly we are able to include MCP server using the AI toolkit. So let me hit a new agent. Once I hit the new agent, I have to just give it a quick name. So let me call it demo. Oops, something happened. Let me do it again. Let's give it a name demo 1 MCP server. And once I hit enter, I'm going directly into the UI portal. The UI seems very exactly similar to what we saw in the previous demo. But what I'm going to add differently here is this section called as tools. So once you are in the tools section, this is where your MCP servers are going to reside. So let's first try to create a scenario for our MCP server. In this particular case, I want my MCP server to go to a specific URL, get information from that specific URL, and based on my user prompt, provide a response. Now, if now as you can see, I want my model to be targeted for a specific URL. In that case, I want to use an MCP server, which comes right off the shelf with Playwright. So when I hit on Add Server, I'm given this list of options, or whether I want to use featured servers or an existing server that I have, or create a new MCP server. For this particular demo, we'll use a featured MCP server, which is Playwright. And in the next demo, we'll create a new MCP server. So let's quickly click on this featured MCP server, and you can see this option of Playwright. Let's click on that. Once you have clicked on the MCP server Playwright, you're asked to create a server ID. You can keep the name that it has or create your own server ID, but it is a unique identifier for your MCP server. Now it's going to quickly come back with the type of tools that it has already selected. You can deselect some of these tools if you want. But as you can see, since Playwright is all about scrapping information from your URLs and then browsing it, taking screenshots, hovering over some of the content that you have asked for it to take out and present. So I'm going to keep everything as it is and just hit OK. As you can see now, it has 24 tools included. That's my tool list, and the MCP server name is exactly what we had given in the beginning. Now, there is another way to do this because we don't want to do, we want something like a Playwright to be easily configurable. So even when you want to create something really quickly using Playwright, AI Toolkit gives you an option of web scraper with MCP server. So if you click on that, all the work that I was doing now is going to be auto done. Even the user prompt and everything else is going to be done in advance. So it saves definitely a lot of time. And now I just can go ahead, create my own system prompt and user prompt and run it. So let's quickly try to do that. You might be thinking, why is it running itself? Because it comes with a template. It tries to quickly run and show you how a particular agent using this MCP server would work. Now, let's tweak it a little bit. I have created a system prompt, which I'm going to just paste right here. And then I'm also going to make sure that it only refers to the URL that I am presenting. So I'm going to explicitly tell that, okay, only refer to the URL that I have given you. And then my user prompt is just going to ask about the models in GPT-5 family. Once I run that, yeah, so it's trying to run the example domain and trying to show me how the server is
Okay.
going to work. But now when I hit run, I expect it to hit the URL that I have provided. So if you look here, it is going to this URL. It shows me the number of tokens that it has used, and it is trying to load. Once the output is done, it should be able to go back to the website and come back with a model response of the number of on the type of models that are included in GPT-5 family. So I'm going to take this view out here on my other screen so that you have a bigger real estate. Now, as you can see, it went to this URL and it is showing step by step on how it was thinking about it, what will link, what buttons, and all of this is coming from the 24 tools that we had. And if we go all the way to the bottom, we should be able to see the model response. Voila. So the model response is able to fetch all the models that are included in GPT-5 family and also gives a little bit description and other highlights. And it also tells us the number of tokens that were used to answer this question. Anything you'd like to add to this, Nicholas, before we move on to our custom MCP server model?
No, so you can still use this with your evaluation, so you can test your module as well. So you can evaluate how good your module is. As well, you can also like try to gradually like test your prompt in order to have the best formats. You can see sometimes it give you bold and italics. So
No, yeah, that's very helpful because in this session, we are not going to showcase the evaluation and
yeah.
tracing features, but definitely those features are also available, including the bulk run feature where you can run multiple instances of the agent. Okay, so swiftly moving on to our custom MCP server demo, let's create a new agent instance and let's call it demo to MCP server. All right, hit enter, the same thing, we hit enter. This time, we do not want to do something right from the template. We want to create our own MCP server. And I'm also going to change my model because I know the kind of prompt that I'm going to give is going to take a little bit of more cycles. So let me switch my model. Okay. Now, let's quickly go to the tools section this time, hit on that plus button, MCP server, and say add server. Now, this time, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to use this option, create a new MCP server. So hit on that. Now, what I'm going to show you here is a template that has been auto-created, but then you can tweak this template because this helps really to set the tone and make it easier for you to make changes, but I'll be able to show you where exactly you can make changes to add more tools or to make updates to this particular server. Okay, so let's give our server a name, MCP server custom demo 1 or demo 2. And once you hit enter, this is going to open a completely new screen. It is designed that way, so don't feel like, oh, what's going on. I'm going to trust the author. And let me zoom up a little bit because this is the experience we are going to be on for a couple of minutes. So now, if you're wondering from how do I get it started, where is the code, the README does a fantastic job in showing you all the details on what this server is about, how this server is going to work, how do you test it. I have done some of the prep work, which I will show you in a bit, but let's quickly check the source code. The source code is lying in src server.python. Once you
So
hit
this is
that,
pretty much like a base, like example
yes,
repo sample that you can use to customize code you need use case.
correct. That is correct. And if you see on this line, it says tool. So this particular template consists of only one tool. It is a weather custom MCP server that is just mocking some weather data based on the conditions that have been pre-provided. So if you look here, it's taking some location based on your user prompt, and then it's also ranges 10 to 90 in Fahrenheit. And it's going to randomly pick a temperature and a condition for your location, for the location that you provide in your prompt. Now you can easily change this tool and make it maybe predict or maybe add more API driven where it thinks before answering or maybe not doing some random actions. So just going ahead with this example now. Once you have it all set up and you're able to invoke it, you're going to come to the debug mode, set your virtual environment. You could do it through pip or you could do it through UV. All those instructions, as I mentioned earlier, are in the README. So if you come here, you can see how you prepare your environment through UV or through your pip. Both the instructions are mentioned. But then in terms of testing, you will go to your debug mode. And in your debug mode, you'll be able to select, depending on how do you want to debug this. So let's say if I want to debug in Agent Builder, I'm going to come to Agent Builder, and I'm going to hit F5. That is going to instantiate my MCP server and also reflect the UI that it is going to run based on. It is not going to work right now because I haven't instantiated my environment. But once I have that up and running, I can cancel this. Once I have that up and running and I'm able to select a model and make it work. So let's quickly select GPT-4o. Uh, I want to understand what the weather is, and I will probably give a user prompt of any region that I want to. If you want to do a debug in Inspector, you will hit debug in Inspector Edge and do the same thing, click F5. So I have an instance of the MCP Inspector URL. So I have an instance running in localhost. The transport is going to be SSE. And when you
So
come here this time, yeah.
So for those who don't know what inspector is, MCP Inspector is a tool that you can use to debug your MCP and for like performance anything, just to debug it locally.
Yes, that is correct. And you could use the transport type. In this case, I'm using SSE. And as you can see, since I showed in the source code, we only have one tool. So when you go to the tool section, it only gives you the get weather tool. When I prompted it last time with the location of London, England, and hit run tool, it was able to show me the location, mocked up temperature and condition. So this is just a very basic templatized demonstration of both custom MCP server in AI Toolkit and how you could debug it in MCP Inspector. You could actually do a more advanced tooling using your custom MCP server, but all you need to do is come to this code section of where your source code lies and make the changes. So again, showing you here, you come to server.py, make changes, add more tools. You can just copy this whole block of code and replicate the number of times you want the number of tools to be included. So that summarizes the MCP demos. Back to you, Nicholas.
Yeah. So I just want to just wrap up. So we're gonna play big. We want to say a big thank you for. So you may need to. Yeah, big thank you for the organizer for setting our session. It's amazing to be able to do a session on AI Toolkit and explain what it is. So AI Toolkit, uh, in my conclusion, AI Toolkit is one of it will be widely used and it's best for like creating like AI solution within minutes, whether it's doing a POC with a client when you want to use it, when you do not have time to use using AI Foundry and you just want to quickly like visually create AI Toolkit on it. Anything else you want to add, Bhuvi?
No, I just want to concur with you. Big thanks to edu.ai for including us in this discussion. It was extremely helpful, and I hope the viewers also learned a bit and enjoyed our session.
Yep. So if you have any questions regarding AI Toolkit or anything that we discuss, you can either contact us and we're happy to ask that for you. Answer that. So thank you. Hope you enjoyed the session and just be able to just use AI Toolkit, just testing module and see how amazing it is for yourself. Bye.
Bye.